For thousands of years, the bog has whispered only to the dead. Today, it whispered to us. It began with the faintest ripple, a tremor in the stillness that felt less like movement and more like recognition, as if the bog had sensed our presence and responded. In that ripple lived a truth older than memory, older than writing, older than belief itself. A truth the Earth never intended to return.
We are approaching the target area.
What we uncovered would not
Stay
be
alert.
a relic of stone
The ground
or
is getting
bone,
softer up
not
ahead.
a tool, not a fragment of pottery, but a person, a life suspended between worlds, preserved by the bog's dark alchemy. They say these boglands are places where time forgets to move. Step far enough into them and you begin to feel it, the unsettling sensation that the air is thicker, the silence
Look at the
deeper,
stratification
the
right
ground
here.
softer,
See the wood fragments.
almost
Yes,
breathing beneath
remarkably
your feet.
preserved.
The
We
deeper
should
we
take a
walk,
sample
the more
immediately.
the world around us changes. The mist does not simply hang. It coils, wrapping slowly around our bodies like ancient fingers. Even the light seems uncertain,
I've never seen anything
struggling
like
to
this
reach through the
preservation.
gray veil
Look
that
closer
guards
at the
this
inscription
forgotten
right here.
place. This bog does not
We need
merely
to
hide
document this
secrets,
immediately.
keeps them, protects them,
Keep
and
moving.
perhaps
The
chooses
GPS
when
shows
to
we are
reveal them.
close.
Every
Watch your step.
forward
The water
feels
gets
like
deeper
pushing
near those
against
reeds.
history itself, as if the land is gently resisting our intrusion. The air is cool but heavy with the scent of damp earth, a blend of decay and preservation, a paradox that defines the bog's nature. We begin to notice strange stillnesses, moments where even the insects refuse to buzz, as if nature itself is holding its breath. There is something undeniably alive here. Not a creature, not a spirit, but an ancient presence woven into the soil, into the water, into every grain of peat that has accumulated over thousands of years. Sarah is the first to point out that the moss growth patterns are unusual, too consistent, too uniform, too intentional. The bog is not chaos. It is structure hiding beneath decay. Minutes later, we discover stones beneath the peat, arranged not by chance but by human purpose. Their placement suggests ritual, or settlement, or something else entirely, something whose meaning has been dissolved by time. A shiver runs through me, not from cold, but from understanding. This place once mattered, deeply, and perhaps still does. Artifacts can be stumbled upon anywhere, but places like this, where the land itself has a will,
What is
these
it?
are
Did you
rare.
find something?
The carved
I'm not
wooden
sure, but
fragment
look at
Sarah
the
finds
fibers on
is
the
more
tip.
than an object.
Incredible.
It is a
We must
whisper,
proceed with
a
extreme
deliberate
caution.
echo from a world long vanished. Grooves carved by hands whose bones now lie deeper than we can imagine. A message shaped in a time before language was inked.
Look at the
Before
cellular
stories
structure
were
here.
written,
Is
when
that
stories
cordage
were
or root
lived.
matter?
As I
I
turn the
can't be
fragment
certain
in my
yet, but it's
fingers,
definitely
a
organic.
realization settles over me with surprising weight. We are not just following evidence. We are following intention. The bog feels heavier as we approach its heart. Not with danger, but with expectation. The air thickens, our footsteps slow, even our voices soften, as if the land
Just here,
demands
very
respect.
gently with the brush.
And in the quiet
Yes, I have it. It
spaces
feels like
between
wood.
our breaths,
Don't
feel
move it yet. Clear
a
the
presence
surrounding
watching
area
not
first.
with eyes, but with time itself. Something waits beneath the peat, not dormant, but patient, not forgotten, but preserved, not abandoned, but held. And as we stand on the threshold of a secret buried for millennia, I understand something unmistakable. We are not discovering the bog. The bog is revealing itself to us, and it is only just beginning. The ripple on the water should have meant nothing. A breeze, a settling branch, a small creature slipping beneath the surface. But the bog does not allow such simple
Look there, I see it.
explanations.
Yes,
Not
you're
here,
right.
not now.
Everyone,
In a
very
place where
carefully
even
now.
the wind holds its breath. The slightest movement carries weight, meaning, intent. That ripple felt like a signal, a quiet but deliberate awakening, as though the bog had decided it was time. We approached the water slowly, our footsteps sinking deeper into the soft earth, our bodies instinctively lowering,
All
as
right,
if
keep it
entering
steady.
a sacred
We need full
place.
coverage before the
Every
rain starts.
instinct sharpened.
Securing
every
the north
sense
corner
heightened.
now.
The air felt
Watch the edge,
charged,
slipping in the
thick
mud.
with something ancient,
Careful now.
something
Bring the
aware.
light up slowly.
And in that charged stillness, my mind could
Do you
not
see the
ignore a
disruption in the
single
peat layer?
startling thought. We were not alone. The surface of the water, dark as ink and still as glass, reflected nothing. Not the sky, not the pale shapes of the trees, not even the silhouettes of our own bodies. It was as though the water refused to acknowledge the world around it. When I dipped the probing stick into that abyss, the cold rushed instantly up the wood, into my hand, into my arm, a shock that felt less like temperature, and more like crossing a boundary no human hand had touched for millennia. The first moment of contact was soft, far too soft to belong to stone or root, an organic give beneath the water, like the resistant curve of flesh. My breath stopped, my heartbeat surged.
I'm looking at something
Time
impossible.
stretched, as though the bog
Secure the
itself
perimeter and
inhaled with
mobilize
me.
the research
And
vessel
then
immediately.
We lifted it. A lock of hair emerges first, darkened by centuries, yet impossibly preserved, still curled faintly as if shaped by the hands that once washed it. Clings to the stick, a delicate, fragile thread connecting us to a human life. Lost long before our world took its first breath. Sarah's voice sinks to a whisper, not out of fear, but reverence, as she leans in to examine the strands. Her breath
The
fogging in the
degradation
cold
rate
air.
here is faster
Under
than
magnification,
anticipated.
We need to
the hair
analyze
reveals
the
its secrets.
stratification immediately.
Follicles
Agreed.
intact, fibers woven with time,
This changes everything.
still bearing the shape
Log
of a
entry
life lived
47.
thousands
The
of years
structure is
ago.
intact.
We stare in
Proceed with
silence,
extreme caution,
not
team.
the silence of confusion,
Secure the cross
but the
beams on sector
silence of
4.
comprehension.
Copy that. Sector
We know
4
what it
secure.
means. We all know. Person
Bring the
lies
specialized
beneath
tools
us,
to the main
a
table
human
now.
being, preserved by the bog's unyielding grasp. As we begin to clear the peak, the truth rises slowly from the murky depths. An arm, curled gently, its position too natural, too human, to be chance. Then the hand appears, fingers still defined,
The
nails
preservation
still
on the
faintly
ligaments
visible,
is incredible.
resting as though caught
Agreed.
in the
Scan
middle of
complete on
reaching
the
for
upper
something.
torso, ready
Or
for the next
perhaps
sequence.
letting something go. More peat is lifted, each motion deliberate, each breath controlled. And then, the face. The first glimpse of it feels like stepping into
Taking
forbidden
the peak
territory.
sample now.
The leathery skin
And
clings
the water
tightly
is
to bone.
secured,
Yet the
ready for the
expression,
next coordinates.
somewhere between serenity and pleading, remains hauntingly clear. This is not the face of a skeleton. This is the face of a person. Someone who lived, who felt, who feared, who died, and now returns. The weight of the moment presses against us like the fog. Even John, stoic, logical, unshakable John, exhales with a tremor he cannot hide. In this moment, none of us are scientists. We are witnesses. Nearby, the discovery of a bone fragment, dark, stained, unmistakably human, confirms that this bog hides not just a body,
Cranial length,
but a story.
185
We
millimeters.
gather around,
Copy
hands
that.
shaking ever so
Mandibular angle.
slightly, not from fear,
120 degrees.
but from the
Confirmed.
overwhelming understanding that we are the first to look upon this person. Since the day they were laid to rest, then comes the ring. Small target,
The extraction is
merely
complete,
fused to the
transferring
mummy's
to the
finger,
stabilization
yet crafted
container.
with unmistakable
Received.
intention.
Sealing
A
now.
ring is never accidental. A ring means purpose, identity, connection. Someone placed it there. Someone knew this person. Someone mourned or sacrificed or believed. And so the bog does not reveal a tragedy. It reveals a narrative, a life, a loss, a ritual, a secret preserved for thousands of years. And returning now, slowly, carefully, with each layer of peat we lift away, the specialists arrive, their voices quiet, their movements precise, as if entering a temple. Their presence confirms what we already know.
Check the
This is
alignment
not
on the
a mere
left side.
discovery. This is revelation.
Looks
Piece
secure.
by piece,
Applying
the
the
mummy
final torque
emerges
now.
from the peat, like a memory resurfacing after centuries of silence. The bog has held this person in its embrace for millennia, not as a grave, but as a
This
garden.
specific pattern
And
suggests
as we look
advanced
upon the
healing
ancient face,
long before the time
as the
of
weight
death.
of time
I
settles
agree.
around us,
The depth is
one
remarkable
truth
given
becomes
the age.
impossible to deny.
Okay, lift on three.
The past is
One,
not dead.
two,
It is waiting.
three.
And today,
Even
it has
pressure.
awakened.
Clear.
In the lab, emotion gives way to precision. but all lingers in every corner of the room. Under bright, sterile lights, the ancient face emerges once more, not
Start
as a
with the upper
haunting
section,
relic
gently
submerged
now.
in darkness, but as a patient
Tension
awaiting
is secure on this
diagnosis,
side.
a human
Right,
being
move to the
finally
lower
ready
straps.
to speak after thousands
Sensors
of
are green.
years.
Humidity
Here,
stable at
science becomes our
75%.
interpreter.
Acknowledged.
First step is
Proceed with
preservation.
lifting mechanism
Careful
engagement.
regulation of humidity,
clear of the
temperature, and
threshold.
exposure.
Watch the
Every
wheels
second
in the soft
matters.
ground. Keep it
Millennia of
steady.
stillness must not be undone. In a single careless breath, when the shroud is lifted, the room falls into a hush deeper than the bog itself. The face, leathery and darkened, is astonishingly intact, wrinkles hardened by time, lips shriveled yet expressive, hair matted but recognizably human.
Bringing it in
It
now.
is impossible
Slow and
not
steady.
to feel the weight of this moment. We are confronting a life
Almost
that
there.
ended
Easy
long
down.
before our ancestors discovered metal, long before they shaped language, long before the cultures we call ancient even existed. Now, that life lies before us, ready finally to be understood. At the DNA station, a tiny tissue sample is prepared with all the ceremony of a sacred act. Scientists move slowly, deliberately, as if each motion might echo across centuries. The genetic sequence reveals itself in vibrant colors. A, T, C, G, the
Thermal
alphabet
reading
of
is holding
existence,
steady at
scrolling
-5.
patterns of light. The code that
We are clear of
determines
the edge.
ancestry, health, identity.
Positioning now.
Everything this
Set her
person
down
wants
gently.
is written here in microscopic script. And through this code, the mummy begins to speak. Their lineage traces across forgotten landscapes, through clans long vanished, through bloodlines that shaped early humanity. Before history began recording its own stories, radiocarbon dating becomes the next revelation. A fragment of tissue enters the machine, and time itself begins to unravel. The numbers that appear on the display do not merely surprise us, they stun us. This person lived thousands of years ago, before the earliest Egyptian dynasties, before Stonehenge, before the myths of Greece whispered their first breath. We are not dealing with a recent ritual. We are
There's a
holding
severe
a life from a
irregularity
world
right
almost
here.
unimaginably distant.
See the
Then
hyperdense
comes the
structure.
forensic scan.
Could be the
The
cause of
CT
death.
images reveal more than bone. They reveal truth. The skull bears a fracture, not the gentle break of time or pressure, but a sharp, decisive blow.
As you
A
can see
wound
here, this is
inflicted
not
with
consistent with a
intent.
fall.
This was
The
violence.
impact point suggests
This was
localized
final.
trauma.
This
It was
was
deliberate
chosen.
then.
Yes,
But chosen by
definitively
whom
foul play.
And why? We turn to anthropology, to the study of rituals and belief systems of ancient peoples. The patterns begin to form. In many prehistoric cultures, the bog was not a place of fear. It was a threshold, a boundary between worlds, a sacred doorway to the spirits.
If we
gods,
cross-reference
the
the
land
Coleman
itself,
timeline with
to
the
place a
forensic
body
trauma
into the
analysis,
bog,
the data
was
strongly
not merely to
suggests a
dispose of it.
ritualistic.
It was to offer it. The water, the peat, the oxygen-poor environment, together created a perfect vault, preserving the body not by accident, but by design. The bog became both altar and tomb, an eternal chamber where sacrifice and memory intertwine. Artifacts found with other bog bodies tell us of rituals, food offerings, woven garments, ornaments placed with intention, weapons bent into symbolic submission. These were ceremonies, sacred acts meant to communicate with forces unseen. As we examine textile fragments from our mummy, we recognize weaving patterns consistent with early ritual garments. The ring on the finger, intricate despite its age, may have symbolized status,
Oh my God.
role, or chosen
Look at
purpose. Some rings indicated leadership, others devotion, some sacrifice. Slowly, painfully, beautifully, the narrative takes shape. This person was not simply killed. They were selected. The 3D facial reconstruction begins next. Layer by layer, muscle structure, skin tone, hair pattern, bone alignment, all merge into a lifelike rendering. And then, suddenly, there they are. Not a mummy, not a fossil, a human, a person with a face that could belong to a neighbor, a stranger on a street,
The evidence
a friend
is
across
undeniable.
the fire. The distance
bog
of
mummy
millennia
provides an
collapses in an
unprecedented
instant.
window
We
into the
imagine
past.
their youth, the
The
rhythm
detail
of their
we
days,
achieved on the
the
facial
connections they
structure
forged.
allows us
We
to look
imagine
directly
laughter,
into the
fear,
eyes of someone
hope,
from the
belief,
Iron Age.
Because to be chosen for a ritual sacrifice, one had to hold meaning, either to the community or to the gods they served. But the most haunting part is this. Their final walk into the bog was not a random death. It was ceremonial. We imagine torches flickering against
We
the
have
mist,
proven that with
chants carried by
determination
cold
and
air,
empathy,
the press of hands
anything is
guiding them
possible.
toward the water.
This
Perhaps
changes
they went
everything
willingly,
for us all.
believing their sacrifice would ensure a good harvest, or bring protection, or appease angry deities. Perhaps they resisted. Perhaps their shattered skull tells a story of fear and force. We cannot know, but one truth remains. The bog accepted them, and for thousands of years, kept them safe, their story preserved, their body cradled in darkness, waiting for the moment humanity would finally be ready to listen. When the mummy is displayed in the museum, something extraordinary happens. Visitors do not see a corpse. They see a bridge, a link between themselves, and a world that vanished long before history began. A child stands before the glass, eyes wide with wonder, and in their reflection, two lives, separated by millennia, briefly overlap. Our team gathers in quiet reflection. We came searching for artifacts, but found a story instead. A story of belief, sacrifice, identity, and time. We realized something profound. This person did not ask to be remembered, but they deserve to be. As I return to the bog, the sun melting into the horizon, the water glowing like gold, a truth settles in my chest with undeniable clarity. We did not uncover this story. The bog allowed it, because if this bog holds one such life, it holds more stories, more whispers, more truths preserved in darkness, waiting patiently beneath layers of peat and centuries. The bog holds more secrets, many more, and the ancient world still breathes beneath our feet, waiting for the day we grow quiet enough to hear its